You've been thinking about the same thing for an hour now. Maybe a decision you can't make. Maybe something someone said. You turn it over and over, examining it from every angle, certain that if you just think about it a little longer, you'll finally solve it. But you don't solve it, you just go around again. If your mind feels like a wheel that won't stop turning, this is for you. And the way out is quieter than you think. Here is the first thing the Stoics would tell you, and it stings a little. Overthinking is not thinking. It only wears the costume. Real thinking moves toward an answer and then stops. Overthinking circles. It feels productive. That's the trap. Because the effort convinces you that you're working on the problem, but you're not working on it. You're rehearsing it. And a problem you only rehearse never gets smaller. It gets a groove worn into your mind. So the next thought slides into it more easily than the last. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics studied this loop closely, and they left us a set of tools to step out of it. Not to silence the mind. You can't. And trying only makes it louder, but to stop feeding it. Here are 5. The first is the one that quietly dissolves most overthinking, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus said, some things are up to us, and some are not. Now watch what your loops are actually made of. Almost everyone is about something you cannot control. What someone thinks of you, how a decision will turn out, whether the thing you fear will happen. Your mind treats these like puzzles to be solved, but they aren't puzzles. They have no solution available to you, which is exactly why the thinking never ends. So the first question to break any spiral is simply, is this in my control? If it isn't, thinking harder is not diligence. It's just suffering with extra steps. The second tool is for the loops that are about something real, a fear of what might happen. The Stoics had a practice called Premeditatio, malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Instead of circling the fear endlessly, you do the opposite. You walk straight into it. Once, calmly, and finish it. Ask, and then what? And then what? Follow the worst case all the way to its end until you arrive at the plain, unglamorous truth. I would handle it. I would survive. The loop keeps you at the doorway of the fear, pacing. Premeditation walks you through the door and out the other side, and there is nothing left to circle. The third tool is a single question Seneca gives us, and it may be the most useful sentence in this whole video. He wrote that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So when the spinning starts, ask yourself, is this happening? Or am I only imagining it? 9 times out of 10, you are not responding to your life. You are responding to a simulation of your life, running inside your head, populated by conversations that never happened and disasters that never came. The moment you notice you're in the simulation, you are already halfway out of it. The fourth tool gives the restless mind what it actually wants, which is not an answer, but permission to stop. The Stoics ended each day with a short review. Seneca would sit in the evening and go back over his day, calmly, like a coach reviewing tape. And here is the quiet genius of it. When your mind knows there is a set time to think things through, it stops ambushing you at every other hour. So give your overthinking an appointment. A worry window, 10 minutes, a notebook, a fixed time. When a loop starts outside that window, you tell it, honestly. Not now. I have a time for you. Contained thinking is thinking. Everything else is just churning. The fifth is the deepest, and it's the root of all the others. Epictetus taught that it is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. An event is just an event until your mind adds a story. This is a catastrophe. This means something about me. This must be solved right now. That story is not the truth. It is a judgment, and a judgment is something you can question. So when a thought arrives claiming to be urgent, you don't have to obey it. You can look at it and say, that's a thought. It is not a command. This small gap between the thought arriving and you believing it is where all your freedom lives. So how do you actually use this? Start here. When you notice the wheel turning, name it. I'm overthinking. That alone breaks the spell, because you can't be lost in a loop and watching the loop at the same time. Then ask the one question. Is this in my control? And is this even happening? If not, set it down, not by force, but the way you'd set down something heavy you've been carrying without noticing, and give the genuine worries an appointment, so they stop following you around all day. Do this, and the wheel doesn't vanish overnight, but it slows. The grooves grow shallower. You start to catch the loop earlier, and then earlier still, until one day you notice the thought arrive and simply let it pass. Like weather, like a train you decided not to board, you will never stop having thoughts. That was never the goal, and anyone who promises you a silent mind is selling something. The goal is smaller and far more freeing, to stop mistaking every thought for a truth and every worry for a task. You don't have to answer the mind every time it calls. Let the wheel turn. You don't have to ride it. I'm the quiet Stoic. If this brought your mind even a little quiet, stay a while. There's more here for the overthinking mind.